Kangaroo Island fires, CFS firefighters finally gained the upper hand as rain slows the spread of two massive blazes. Emergency warnings on Kangaroo Island have been downgraded after rain provided much-needed relief for CFS volunteers battling two massive bushfires, stopping the spread of blazes on the south coast around Vivonne Bay, and between Parndana and Kingscote. A rain band from the west made its way across the island, but didn't reach the fire front until about 6 a.m. on Friday. CFS Incident Controller Kangaroo said it was a brutal night for emergency services as they struggled to contain two separate out-of-control fires. One fire which was raging around Parndana on Thursday afternoon was pushed to the northeast towards Kingscote overnight, while another fire near Vivonne Bay, in the south, was also pushed in the northeasterly direction. Thankfully, flames stopped well before the western side of Kingscote Airport, while the main townships of Parndana and Vivonne Bay remained mostly unscathed. "I'm very confident that the rate of spread will have slowed, if not stopped, and that any fire activity or smoke that you can see will just be burning in creek lines," Mr. Tanner said. The current Watch and Act message, downgraded from two earlier emergency warnings, has been issued for the northeastern and south coast of Kangaroo Island near American River, Nepean Bay, Brownlow, Bay of Shoals, the outskirts of Kingscote, Stunsail Boom Beach, Seal Bay and Cape Gantheau Emile. It states the grass fire is burning towards Vivonne Bay, Seal Bay, Cape Gantheau Emile, Murray Lagoon, South Coast Road, Signet River, Emu Bay, Goina Corner, Kingscote Airport, Menzies and Wasatch. Earlier alerts indicated there were fears for the outskirts of Kingscote as the fire raged throughout the night. The CFS said exhausted firefighters had battled throughout the night with little or no sleep, and asked people on the island to be patient before returning to affected areas. It is understood several properties have been damaged on the south coast near Vivonne Bay, but it is too early to estimate property losses from fires that have now flared out of control for a week after devastating the Flinders Chase National Park on the west coast. Meanwhile, the CFS has advised sealing to only transport freight, local residents and emergency services personnel to Kangaroo Island. Kangaroo Island fire emergency continues. Emergency warnings remain in place and more properties are believed lost as country fire service crews continue to battle out-of-control blazes on Kangaroo Island. The areas of most concern include the central districts around Parndana and east towards the island's largest town of Kingscote. The fire front is also advancing across the island's south coast. On the south coast, some properties at Vivonne Bay are believed to have been destroyed with a number of firefighters suffering minor injuries. The cool change has moved through with forecast rain also falling. By mid-morning Parndana had recorded 3.6 millimeters. The Watch and Act warning was also in place for an area around Kingscote and heading east to include American River and the main road to Penishaw. It's believed the ferry service from the mainland has been asked to restrict travel to freight, local residents and emergency service personnel. Authorities are confident Kingscote will remain a safe place and the road to Penishaw, another safe haven, was still open early on Friday. The overnight escalation in fire activity cut power to more properties with about 850 now without electricity. SA Power Networks said its crews had been relocated to Penishaw for safety reasons and would wait for CFS clearance before re-entering the fire zone. Smoke from the fires has affected a large swathe of South Australia, with air quality in a number of areas listed as very poor. Late on Thursday, CFS Chief Officer Mark Jones warned the fires would likely burn for some time. The condition of the fires is such that it's unlikely that they will be extinguished by the rain, and they will continue to burn, Mr. Jones said. The fire has already destroyed 160,000 hectares across Kangaroo Island, including most of the famed Flinders Chase National Park. It has claimed to live with Outback pilot Dick Lang, 78, and his 43-year-old son Clayton killed as they returned to their home. The blaze first broke out on December 28 from a lightning strike but escalated rapidly last Friday before jumping containment lines again on Thursday. More than 50 homes and many more other buildings are already listed as destroyed, with that number to grow significantly following the revised damage assessment.